Hi everyone, and welcome to Moonstone Makes. My name is Tommi. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as DynamiteTrujillo. Welcome to episode 123. Thank you so much for joining me. Today is a beautiful, bright, sunny Wednesday here on the Northern California coast where I'm coming to you from. We are joined by a co-host today who is Big River, and he's sitting here next to me, so that's who we got in the room. Thank you for being here. If you're a new viewer, welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, a big welcome back. There are show notes for this episode in the description box below. So if I talk about anything you want to look further into, check down there and there will be links. Hopefully for everything. Okay. Today, we've got a make-along that I'll tell you about. It started a couple weeks ago with my last episode, and it's the Moonstone Makes Halloween make-along, and we are hosting that. I am hosting that on Instagram. So use the hashtag Moonstone Makes Halloween MAL over on Instagram to show your Halloween projects, whatever craft they are, it doesn't matter, and that will enter you to win a fabulous prize. Hi. Yeah. If you are not on Instagram or if you don't have a public account on Instagram, you can feel free to email me or DM me your entry, and works in progress, finished objects, any photo that you post or you send me will get you entered into the drawing for a prize that I'll draw for just after Halloween. So you have like at least a month to take part in the Halloween make-along, and if you're making anything Halloween inspired or spooky or whatever, please feel free to join. It is so much fun looking at everyone's Halloween projects. I have a Halloween project that I will show you in a little while, and thank you for participating if you do participate. I am getting together prizes. I have had a donation for a project bag by Katydid Knits, not Katydid Knits, sorry, Katydid Bags, who is a fantastic bag maker, and I will link to her shop below. I have a couple of her bags that I really love, and she contacted me this morning to donate a couple of bags to the podcast, so I'll use one for this Halloween make-along. I actually haven't seen them yet because she just DM'd me like a little while ago, and I haven't finished my conversation with her yet. But I'm sure they're going to be amazing. I know they're going to be Halloween-inspired bags, so that's exciting. And I have more project bags in my little prize collection, so there's probably going to be more than one winner of a project bag, maybe some yarn. If you are a maker or a creator or a seller of anything that you want to donate to the podcast as a prize for this Halloween make-along, feel free to contact me. And I would love to work with you or whatever. Thanks. Hi. I hope I'm not jingling too much. I am wearing a new acquisition. I bought some earrings. I don't often buy or wear earrings, but I am in love with these. So Elijah, who is Horsefeather Fiber Arts, she typically makes stitch markers, but she put up these earrings in her Etsy shop, and I fell in love with them, so I bought them. And they're a little jingly, so I'm hoping they're not jingling at you too much. If I move around too much and I feel like they're too loud, I might take them off. But they're really beautiful. Let me show you. They are this like stamped metal, and these stones inside here. I'll move my hair. And oh, they're so pretty. I love them. So I love these. They're beautiful, and that's what I'm wearing today. I was wearing a sweater, but I took it off because it got warm. But today, this morning, I have been wearing my Like a Cloud by Joji Locatelli, which is one of my very favorite cardigans. It's kind of longer drop sleeve cardigan with a raw edge. There's no collar or button band or anything. It's got a textured pattern all over, which is just knit and purl stitches, and it's the pattern calls for holding two lace weight yarns together. I used a Madeline Tosh lace and I think a Rowan alpaca merino lace, and I freaking love wearing the sweater. It's light and it's drapey and it's comfortable and it's soft, and I really love the color. This is like my favorite kind of like dusty faded pink, and I love the sweater a lot. So that's what I've been wearing this morning. And it was kind of, it's been kind of bothering me because I have these little like, these little things, and you know what those are? You might know what those are if you do the same stupid thing that I do. They're hanger indentations. I keep my hand knit cardigans hung up in my closet on hangers. And I know it's not great to do that because, for me, because of this. And it's been bugging me all morning, so I had to take it off. That and it's warm. But yeah, I hang my hand knit cardigans in my closet, and it's because if I keep them like in a drawer or in like a box or a bin or something like that, I'll never wear them because I have to be able to see them to wear them. And I also like kind of like giving them the space to breathe. You know, I don't like keeping them stuffed in like a small space. I don't know. I like having them on hangers, but most of my cardigans like don't really get this problem, but some of them do, and this is one of them. I don't know. I don't know what to do. How do you store your hand knit garments so that you actually wear them every day? Like, do you hang them in your closet, or do you just keep them in a drawer and, you know, you're just good about rotating them and wearing them? I don't know. How do you do it? That's how I do it. And then like, it's bothering me. I can't. But anyway, this is the Like a Cloud by Joji Locatelli. Joji Locatelli is one of my very favorite knitwear designers. I adore her patterns. And that's one of my favorites. So that's all the stuff that I'm wearing on my person, or was. Let's move on to my making, because I have some knitting and crochet to share with you today. And the first is a finished object. So I am working on some crochet dishcloths. This is the first one, and it's done. So this is the Jazz Age dishcloth by Jenny Catchings. It's a free Knit Picks pattern, and I crocheted this using Kotlin Knit Picks Kotlin DK in the Creme Brulee colorway. I used one skein, and this is what I have left. And this is a cotton linen blend. I used my Tulip 4mm hook to make this thing. And I love these hooks. I wax poetic about them every time I show my crochet because I love them so much. So this is not blocked yet, so it's a little wonky, but I'm pretty sure it's going to lay much more nicely once I do block it. But this pattern was so fun to make. I love it. It's got this really cool shell repeat. I think that might be the back. Is there a back and a front? I don't know. I feel like the side looks better. It's got this shell repeat that's really easy and really fun to do, and it's kind of like Art Deco looking. I really like it. So you do the repeats back and forth until you have your length or whatever. And then you go back around and you do a border. I think it's just like I can't remember, but probably like a single crochet border. I can't remember. I did what the pattern said. I followed the pattern exactly in terms of yarn. This is what the pattern calls for. The hook, the instructions, everything is all exactly to pattern. And I love it. I loved working on this. This was so much fun to make. Seriously, make it if you're like into it. I love it. So I haven't blocked this yet because I am making this as a set of 5 washcloth, dishcloths, whatever, that I'm crocheting for a prize giveaway. So I am on Patreon and on Ko-Fi, and there are links below if you're interested in checking that out. But if you contribute to the podcast in any given quarter through either of those avenues, you get entered into a quarterly drawing. And this quarter, for the third quarter of 2021, I'm crocheting 5 dishcloths, and they will be given away as a set with some handmade soap. So this is the first one, the Jazz Age Dishcloth. I'm using all free Knit Picks patterns except for one, which is just a free pattern, not a Knit Picks one. And I have started the second one, so we're going to move on to whips now. The second one is being crocheted in this color, which is the copper colorway. It's the same yarn, Cotland DK by Knit Picks. And this is what it looks like so far. So this is the Textured Comb Dishcloth by Tian Knaughton. And this one is a little bit more difficult to work on. The first one was really fun and really simple and really easy and really just like enjoyable. This one's really simple and easy. Oh, also that first one, the Jazz Age, has a Knit Picks tutorial on YouTube that I'll link to below that walks you through the whole pattern, which was super helpful to me because I'm like a toddler crocheter. I need help sometimes with my crochet, and that tutorial was so helpful just to be able to follow it and see someone do it. It was great. This one does not have a tutorial, but it was really simple to figure out. But it's a little more difficult to actually crochet. So the pattern calls for this yarn and 3.75 millimeter crochet hook. I don't have a tulip in that size, so I'm using this boy hook, which I don't love, but it's good. This one though is, and it's a free pattern, so I'm just going to tell you what it is. But it is, I don't know if there's a front and a back. I feel like I like this side better. Every row is a 10 stitch repeat. So you do 5 stitches of slip stitches and 5 stitches of half double crochets. And you do that over and over again. And then the next row is the same thing, but in reverse. So you're half double crocheting into the slip stitches and vice versa. And half double crocheting into the slip stitches is like, I despise it. It's so hard. It's really hard because the slip stitches are really tight, and like shoving my hook, getting my hook into there, it's like I'm trying to murder it, you know? It's really hard to do for me. I don't know if it's hard, but it's hard for me. But so it's really beautiful, and it's doing that pattern is kind of creating this like wave, and I think it goes like this. It's like a side to side thing. So this is the side edge, and it's going to grow horizontally. But it's just hard to do, and it kind of like isn't that fun, and it kind of hurts my hands. Yeah, I know, right? But I'm gonna get through it really quick. So this one's really easy, but it's not as enjoyable as the first one. But it'll go really fast, and I am that far on it. So that's the second one. And the next 3 are going to be in these 3 colors, which is all Cotland DK by Knit Picks. The red is pomegranate, the brown is coffee, and the teal is harbor. And I just really like this fall color palette a lot. So that's my crochet project that I'm working on. Let me get my crochet hook back in here before I lose it. I try to go to bed and I get poked by a crochet hook because I'm in bed. I'm in my bed right now. Yeah, I'm really enjoying working on this. I can't wait to have the whole set done and blocked. I think it's going to be beautiful, and I'm really excited to do this giveaway because I just think it's a cool one. I was kind of proud of myself when I came up with this idea. So, okay. I feel like I'm a little too jingly. I love the jingle in real life, but I know. I don't want to hurt your ears, so I'm going to take my earrings off. Okay. Strip down. Strip down. I taught the weeping willow how to cry, and I taught the clouds how to cover up a clear blue sky. And the tears that I cried for that woman, they're gonna flood you, big river, and I'm gonna sit right here until I die. And I met her. Okay, sorry. River wanted to say hi. This is Big River. He's my son. He is 4 months old. He's huge. Look at this big baby. Mwah! Okay, here we go. Here we go. I know. Mwah. Hey, you want this? You want to hold this? Okay, back to what I'm working on. Let's see what's next. I am working on some socks. This is my entry into the Moonstone Makes Halloween Make-Along. And this is a pair of socks that I'm knitting using Nomadic Yarns, who is a wonderful self-striping dyer that I love, and I have one done. This is the We Are the Weirdos Mister colorway, which is a reference to The Craft, which is a fantastically good 90s teenage witch movie. And yeah, this is my first sock. What a sneezer. Are you going to do it again? No. Okay. So this is the first one. This colorway is gorgeous. It's on the tweed base, which is super autumnal, and I really like it. I did a contrast color for like the first part of the cuff and for the heel. I did a heel flap and gusset, and then a plain old wedge toe. I didn't do the contrast color for the toe because I did these top down, and I didn't run out of yarn, so I just went all the way with the toe. And that toe got lucky. So I cast on 60 stitches, and I used a size 1 Hiya mini twist interchangeable, and I did a 2x2 ribbing for the cuff, and I just knit kind of my normal length. I only had a 50-gram skein to work with because I split this skein of yarn with my friend Maria from Woolen Forest Knits, and so I had 50 grams, I had a contrast color, and I didn't know if I would run out of yarn or not by the time I got to the toe, and I wasn't really worried about it. I just kind of knit the leg as long as I normally would or want to, and I figured if I did run out of yarn, then I would have a contrasting toe as well. I didn't, though, but I kind of just liked the little detail of that on the top. I didn't want the whole thing in the contrast color in terms of the cuff. I think that looks kind of cool. And then, like I said, I did the heel flap in it, and this is my contrast yarn. It is Knit Picks Stroll Tweed in some kind of brown colorway. I did have a little bit of yarn left, so I didn't even use the whole 25-gram thing. Where is it? Is this it? I don't know what's going on here. I split my 50-gram ball up into two 25-gram little balls, and that way I knew, So I did have a teeny bit left over of my first one, so I was fine. I was totally fine. And yeah, I love it. It fits really good. I think it's really beautiful, and I cannot wait to wear them. So what I like to do when I'm using a contrasting color, when I'm using a contrasting yarn for the heel, is I like to stop knitting with my main color. Once I start the heel, I like to stop knitting with this at a point where I can pick it up when I'm done with the heel, rather than having to cut it and reattach it. That way I have 2 less ends to weave in. And in case you're curious as to how to do that, in case you don't do it, I really like doing it. It's a really cool method that I made up. Thank you very much. So what I do is when I get to, so I'm knitting top down, right? And when I get to, I guess when you're knitting, it's like this. When I get to the heel flap, what you would normally do with your yarn is just start your heel flap. And I do a slip stitch heel flap, so I'd slip knit, slip knit, slip knit all the way across my first row for the heel flap. And then I turn and purl back, and that's your back and forth whole heel flap. What I do is I switch colors. I drop my main color and pick up my contrast color at the end of the first row rather than at the beginning. So I do my first row of slip stitches with my main color, which you can see, kind of. And then I drop my main color over here, and this is where I attach my contrast color, and I purl back, and then I do my whole heel flap and heel turn with it. And then what I do is when I'm going back around and picking up stitches on the heel flap, what I have to do is I use the contrast heel color to pick up stitches on one side, and then I can pick up my main color where I left it, knit across the front, and then I pick up the other gusset stitches across the other side of the heel flap with my main color. So that's like the only drawback, is that you're picking up stitches with the two different yarns on each side of the heel flap, but it's not something that is terribly obvious. Like there's one side, that was the side with the heel color as the pickup, and this is the main color as the pickup. It's not something you can really see that much, and like, who cares? Like, kind of who cares, right? And this way, I have two less ends to weave in at the end, which just makes me so happy. And yeah, I thought I'd share that with you. That's how I like to do it. And I think it's a cool little detail having that like kind of first round of slip stitches be the main color. I think it's neat. Now, the problem with that is that you have to actually remember to do it. I don't often do contrasting heel colors, yarns. So I forgot on the second one. This is my second sock. This is how far I am. This is my progress keeper that I have on here. It's a little pumpkin from Woolen Forest Charms, which is Maria's stitch marker shop. And I love it. She gave me that when she sent me my half of the yarn. Okay, so this is my second sock. I'm almost done. I'm really close to being at the toe. Now, what I forgot to do was actually use my contrast yarn. I forgot to switch yarns. So for like my first 8 rows of my heel flap, I just kept on using my main color, which is fine. I kind of think it looks cute like that. A little bit of like, I don't know, a little whatever. I like it. I forgot to do it, so when I was here, I remembered, oops, I should switch to my contrast color. And so I accidentally attached my contrast color at the beginning of the row instead of the end of the row, which I could have made it work. But since I did it at the beginning, I ended up having to cut it and then reattach the main color afterwards. Which means I have 2 extra ends to weave in on this one. Bummer. It's okay. It's okay. I'm fine with it. But that's what I did on this one. That's my little cork for these socks is this little thing here, which I like. It's cute. I think she's cute. So my socks are not matching in terms of the stripes, which is I don't do work to match stripes. I don't care about it. Yeah, I don't care about matching stripes. Also, what I realized is that they're opposite. So when I rewound the 50-gram ball into a second, when I split it into 2 25-gram balls, what I didn't really think about is that I ended up starting from different ends. So this one, the stripe sequence, like, say it goes down, and in this one it goes up. So it's opposite. Which I also find it's just a little, you know, it's cute. Okay. Here's what I have left of my second ball. And so I pretty much just have the toe to do. And that's it. That's it for my socks. For my Halloween make-along entry. Hi, how are you so cute? How come you're so cute? I love you so much. Okay, what time is it? Ooh, he needs a nap soon. No, wait, he doesn't. He's good. He's good for a little while. Okay. Is he arguing with me? He's like, yes, I do need a nap. I'm tired. My next work in progress is a shawl. I cast on a shawl. And I'm very excited about it. So this is being knit in some Moonstone Dyeworks yarn, which is my yarn company. And this is the Batwing colorway. This is a new colorway that I'm gonna have in my shop this Saturday. This Saturday, by the way, is gonna be my first shop update in about 5 months since I've had this guy. So I did go on a little bit of a maternity leave break, and the past month or so I got back into dyeing, and I've been dyeing a ton, and I've been really enjoying it. And I created this new colorway at the request of my 3-year-old daughter, Lucy. She wanted a colorway with certain colors in it so that I could knit her a shawl. And so this is what I made for her. And I called it Batwing because I wanted to. So this is my new Batwing colorway. And I'm making Lucy a shawl. This is what it looks like in the cake. So this is Moonstone Dyeworks on the merino sock base. Oh, yeah, you like it? He likes it. And I'm knitting this shawl on the size US 6 needles. And so far, I'm making up the pattern. I'm not using a pattern. I am making it up as I go. So this is a asymmetrical triangular shawl, which is like my favorite shape of shawl. I really like this shape. So it's just a really basic asymmetrical triangle. Started at this point here, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And right now it's just garter, but I am going to add some patterning into it, and I don't know what that's going to be yet. I haven't decided, but I'm calling it my Batwing Shawl. And I've got a Progress Keeper from Chevy Real Stuff on here. It's a little crystal, and I thought it went really good with the yarn. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do from here. Right now, so far, it's just garter. I may just do like all of it garter with some patterning at the end, and I'm not sure what kind of patterning. I could do lace or maybe some add in a different color and do like stripes or slip stitches or something like that. I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet. But for now, it's just this like fantastic garter. And I'm just going to knit. I'm hoping to use the whole skein. It'll be like either a 1 skein project or a skein plus a mini skein for like a contrasting color. And we'll see. Yeah. Yeah. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? You think I should do some lace? You think I should do some lace in a contrasting color? Bouncy, 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 bouncy. You guys should see his face. This is like his favorite thing to do. Alrighty. A bouncy, 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 bouncy. A bouncy, 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 bouncy. Okay. So, yeah. I'm designing as I go with this shawl. But I'm really enjoying it because I really love garter. And I think Lucy's really going to like it. She's been asking for a shawl for a little while. And she loves purple. Her favorite color is purple. Her dad's favorite color is purple. And his dad's favorite color is purple. We got a family of purple lovers, as you can see behind me. So that is that work in progress. It is living in this Ghastly's project bag that I made a while ago. And at Lucy's request, it's got a little unicorn Progress Keeper as a zipper pull. Yes. So that's that. I like it. And this colorway, I can't remember if I mentioned it, will be available in the shop on Saturday. And I'll talk more about shop update stuff at the end, after my works in progress and stuff. So my last work in progress is living in a Fat Squirrel project bag. And it is something you have seen before, but a different version of it. All right, River, you ready? You want to do some tummy time? Here, do some tummy time with me. Oh, let's turn your little thing around. Okay, you ready? Yeah? Okay. So my next project is another daily ritual raglan. So this is a sweater. It's a pullover by Park Williams, who is Park in Knit, I think. And I did cast on this same sweater in different yarn a few weeks ago, and I've ripped it out since. So I cast this on originally in some Wollmeise DK from my stash, and I ended up thinking it was just going to be too heavy and too dense, and I didn't like it. So I ripped it out, and I actually have chosen another project that I think that yarn is going to be more suitable for. It's a Joji Locatelli pattern, and it's a cabled cardigan. I think it's called All the Lights, and I think it's just going to be so perfect. I don't know when I'm ever going to knit it, but that is like in my future, hopefully. It's in my theoretical future. So what I have now is the same project recast on in my yarn, which is Moonstone Dyeworks. And this is what it looks like. So the pattern calls for a fingering weight yarn held double with a lace weight mohair. And something that I wanted to experiment with in my shop is lace weight Surrey alpaca silk. So that is what I'm using. I dyed a small batch of some new colorways on this yarn, and this is what it looks like. And I'm really enjoying it. So this is a lace weight yarn, and kind of like the mohair silk lace weight that's, you know, usually used for this kind of thing. It's like a core of lace with like the fluffy other fiber just kind of like in it, you know what I mean? Like spun with it, spun around it, not quite plied, but just kind of fluffed all around it like that. It's pretty similar to lace weight mohair silk, but it's lace weight Surrey alpaca silk. And I wanted to give it a shot. I have mixed feelings about mohair silk lace weight, that kind of yarn. I love it and I hate it. I have a love-hate relationship with it, so I thought I would try this. So I also am using a new base for my shop. So this is Surrey alpaca lace, and this is yak sock. I did a little bit of experimentation with yak merino nylon blends before I went on my maternity leave, and I fell in love with it. Like, I'm in love with it. So I dyed a new colorway on both of these bases, and that is what I'm using for this sweater. This is the Artemis colorway, and I'll talk more about it and its sisters in my shop update segment, but this is it on yak sock and Surrey alpaca lace. So I'm holding those two yarns together. I did a gauge swatch, and I got a similar gauge to what the pattern calls for. My stitches are slightly smaller than what the pattern calls for, which is kind of good because I feel like I'm kind of in between sizes. I really wanted to knit the second size, not the smallest size, and I'm kind of right in between. There's like 10 inches of intended positive ease. She calls for like anywhere between like 4 and 10 inches. So there's no like right size really, because there's such a huge range of right size or whatever. So I chose the second size, and I really wanted that size because the shaping is a little bit different. Like the smallest size, the arm size or whatever it is written a little different than the rest of the sizes, and I really liked the way the rest of the sizes were. I think it's like a little deeper. So I wanted that second size, but I didn't, and that would have given me 10 inches of positive ease, but I didn't know if I really wanted that full 10 inches of positive ease. That's kind of a lot for me. So since my gauge is a little bit tighter than the pattern, I think it's going to work out pretty good. This is going to be continued because my man Big River is getting a little bored. So we are going to go do something else together as a family. And I'll be back once I put him down for a nap. So, okay. See y'all in a little bit. Say bye, Big River. Oh, are you sleepy? Are you my big sleepy man? He's sleepy. Okay, so our special guest had other things to do, so it is just me and you now. So I was talking about my daily ritual raglan, and this is what it's looking like so far. I'm pretty much at the same exact place that I was last time I showed it to you in the other yarn, but I'm liking the fabric a lot more with the fingering weight and the lace weight held together, which is what the pattern was written for. It's a lot lighter. I think it's going to be a lot, I don't know, I think it's going to be airier, more comfortable, and not so heavy. So that's what it's looking like. I'm really, really enjoying this knit a lot. I'm using the recommended needle size, which is what I swatched on, which is US size 7, and this is from my Lick It interchangeable set. And I've got another Woolen Forest Charms Progress Keeper on this one, and this is a raven or a crow. I'm gonna call it a crow because crows are my favorite birds. Yeah, and this is a top-down raglan pullover. It's gonna have like a turtleneck that I'll pick up and knit up from the cast-on edge later. She does suggest that you knit the collar or the turtleneck pretty early on in your knitting the pattern so that the neckline lies more accurately as you're trying it on as you go. So I'll probably do that pretty soon. Maybe once I separate for the sleeves, I'll do that. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But I'm really, really digging it now. I'm so much happier with this project than I was before. And I'm really happy that I ripped out the last one and have like another project for it in mind already, because that sweater is really exciting to me, that All the Light sweater in that other yarn. That will hopefully be in my wardrobe one day. But yeah, so I am using 2 skeins of each of these yarns, and I showed you the cakes. This is the yarn in the skein, and again, this is Artemis. And my new kind of autumn collection is all, I should talk about this later. Actually, I'm kind of going into it right now anyway, I think. Yeah, that's all my projects, so I'll just talk about it now. So yeah, is that all I have to say on this? I love it. I love it. I'm really excited about it. I'm very happy with the new version of the sweater. Okay, so that's all my stuff. My hair is all messed up. I'm doing that podcaster thing where I like use the camera as a mirror and do my hair. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I don't like it. It's fine. It's good. It's fine. So, shop update. Moonstone Dyeworks is having its first post-baby, post-maternity leave update this Saturday, which is September 25th at moonstonedyeworks.com. It's going to be at 9 a.m. Pacific time, and I'm going to show you a little bit of what's going to be in the shop. I have been dyeing a lot in the past month or so, and it's been really fun, and it's been so much fun creating new colorways, and I've really been enjoying myself. So this is what's going up. I have 2 new bases, and they are these. So this is the Merino Yak sock. It's just called Yak sock, but it's merino, yak, and nylon. And it's a fingering weight. This is the Surrey Alpaca lace weight silk. Surrey Alpaca silk lace weight. This comes in 50-gram skeins. This comes in 100-gram skeins. And this is the Artemis colorway. So for my new kind of fall collection, it's like so small. It's not really a collection, but I did new colorways based off of the Greek pantheon, and there's not that many. There's only 3, but this one is Artemis, and Artemis is the goddess of, among other things, hunting, wilderness, the moon. So this one's for her. I've always loved Artemis. And so this is it on yak, this is it on Surrey Alpaca, and this is it on merino sock. So it looks quite a bit different on all 3 bases. The yak, as you may already know, is a much deeper base color. It's the bare yarn is more of like a silvery brownish gray. It's like a warm gray. So the colorways that you dye on it turn out much deeper and darker. And this one is like, it's got tones of gold and green in it. And so on the darker base, it looks a lot more green than on the lighter base. So this is the three bases. These are the three bases that I'm going to have Artemis on, but I'm also going to have pre-orders up in case these sell out or in case you want different bases. It's also going to be available as a pre-order on BFL Sock, Merino DK, Mohair Lace, and is that it? That's probably it. There might be one I'm missing, but it'll be in the listing. So that's Artemis. My next new fall colorway is Demeter. Demeter is the goddess of the harvest and kind of like an autumnal figure. And she's the mother of Persephone, who is the spring goddess. And whatever, it's cool. So this is Demeter. It's more of a reddish brown. These are all kind of based in browns. So this is an Agnac, and I almost did my daily ritual in this one. I almost did it. This is Merino Sock, and this is the Surrey Alpaca. There's also going to be a pre-order up for this on these bases and other bases. So that's Demeter. And oh, here it is. Okay. This is Hecate. I know that's not the most romantic sounding name in the world, but Hecate was just the perfect deity for this colorway, and she is kind of the goddess of like witchcraft and things that are spooky and otherworldly, like ghosts and stuff. She's like the goddess of ghosts or something. So this is Hecate. And this is a really deep grayish, kind of brownish. And I also love this on the yak. Seriously, I love things on yak. It's so pretty. So this is Hecate. So this is pretty much my new fall collection. Artemis, Demeter, and Hecate. They're sisters. They're not really sisters, but you know. So that's those, and those will all be on those three bases and as a pre-order on more bases. I've also got some other random things. As I talked about earlier, Batwing is going to be up in the shop on Merino Sock, but it's also going to be on non-superwash Merino, which is this. And this is my non-superwash Merino fingering weight base, which is 100% non-superwash Merino. One of my other newer colorways that I dyed pre-maternity leave, and so far only my patrons have gotten this yarn. I love it. And I'm in love with this one. This is Roller Rink. So this is a speckle, and it's like rusty oranges and teals and browns, and it's named after roller skating. I thought it had a really kind of vintagey vibe, very autumnal, and I'm really into this one. So this will be up. One of my older Halloween colorways is going to be up. I don't have very many skeins of this that are going up in the shop, but I'm probably going to do a pre-order for this as well. This is Dusty Spiderwebs, and this is one of my older Halloween colorways, and it's one of my favorites. It's like kind of a mauvey pink and grungy green kind of speckle. So that's Dusty Spiderwebs, Apple Cider Vinegar, and this is kind of a Halloween one of a kind. This is Flashy Zombie, and it's like kind of neon greens and blues and stuff. Flashy Zombie. And this one is October Dawn. So that's it. There are also going to be some mini skeins, which I didn't bring in with me. I've got Hecate as mini skeins and a few other different colorways also on mini skeins. Some are one of a kind. I also was hoping to do Demeter and Artemis as mini skeins, but I haven't done that. If you're interested in that, like as a pre-order, maybe a set, let me know, and I can maybe do a pre-order of that. I think that might be cool. So that's what's going to be in my shop update. If you're interested, please check it out on Saturday at 9 a.m. and sign up for the newsletter. I will be sending out a newsletter probably on Friday with kind of the rundown as well. That's my shop update. Thank you for listening to that. Now I'm going to move on to my favorites, which I'm going to go through pretty quick, but it's really cool. Let me grab it. So, my mom, who is amazing, made River a stuffed animal. Are you ready for it? It's so cool. She made him this bear. I think using a simplicity pattern. I'm not sure what it was. I don't know if she still knows what it is. If I ask her and she knows what pattern she used, I'll put it down below. But it was like one of the big four like patterns for this teddy bear. And this is for River, so it's pretty big. This is what it looks like. And he's adorable. I love him. She used a bunch of different fabrics. So as you can see, all of his features are in different fabrics, and all of these fabrics are from my late father's shirts. So River and Lucy aren't gonna get to meet their grandfather on my side. My dad died when I was 18. And my mom, he had a very specific dad style. He had a very specific color palette, and he had lots of collared shirts in that color palette. And he would wear them in a very dad fashion. I think most of the time they were tucked in to dad jeans. Very cool. But my mom still had like all of his shirts. They were very iconic in our family, my dad's shirts. And this is what they looked like. And so she used a few of his shirts originally to make Lucy a quilt when she was not born yet, when I was pregnant with her. So this is the quilt that my mom made Lucy out of those shirts. And I adore this quilt. It's like amazing. And my mom had never made a quilt before. So she made this for Lucy like 3 years ago, and it's one of our treasured things in this house. And she used all of the same fabric to make River's bear. So River has a matching bear to Lucy's quilt. And I love it. It's just like super freaking special, and it's amazing. And if you ask her, he's a little wonky, but I mean, you can tell I am her daughter, because that's how I do things too. But he's got little embroidered paws. I think her partner Rob did the little paw embroideries and little toe embroideries. And he's got this little tail. And she actually used some Moonstone Dyeworks yarns to embroider his eyes. So this was one of my very first colorways that my mom actually bought from me in my first update. And it's a colorway called Come On Over, which I don't dye anymore. I don't even know if I have the recipe for it, but that's what his eyes are made out of. And actually the quilt it's tied. It's not like quilted. It's tied in all the corners. It's that kind of quilt. And I did the ties with Moonstone Dyeworks, just a bare base of my old non-superwash fingering weight base called Natural Merino, I think it was called. So this has got Moonstone Dyeworks yarn in each of these projects. And they're both made out of my dad's old shirts. And this is River's handmade teddy bear made for him by his gram. So I thought I'd share it with you because it's so freaking awesome. And I love him. And Lucy loves him too. And so does River. So, and he's got this little bow that she tied on him. So that's it. That's my favorite. I won't throw you. I will set you down gently. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for joining me. That's everything I have to talk about today. I hope you are having a really good September, and I hope going into October your days are good. Maybe things are cooling down where you are, or maybe they're warming up. I don't know. But I hope your making mojo is here, and if it's not, it's okay. It will be back because it usually comes back. Yeah. Let me know in the comments below if you are taking part in the Halloween make-along. I'd love to hear about it. Let me know what you're making, and please use the hashtag and tag me on Instagram if you want to participate. That would be amazing. I would love to see what you are making. If you liked this episode, please do feel free to like and subscribe. That would be wonderful. And if you feel like joining the giveaway for those washcloths, check out the Patreon and the Ko-Fi. And thank you so much to those of you who do participate in one of those things. It's so much appreciated, and I'm super grateful. So I will leave you there. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And okay, so I gotta say this because I think I've decided to stop using my sign-off thing, which I've said forever, which is have fun and stay awesome. I don't know. It just like came to me one day as I was signing off, and I kind of liked it, so I stuck with it. So I've been saying that at the end of every podcast for like all these years that I've been doing it. And then randomly, like a few months ago, I fell for one of those like clickbaity, like celebrity gossip, like YouTube videos on, I don't remember the channel, but it's one of those channels that does those kinds of videos. And I don't know, In Sync, Where Are They Now, or some stupid stuff like that. And I clicked on it and I watched it. And at the end, their sign-off tag was have fun and be awesome or something like that. And I was just like, oh no. What? I don't know what happened. So and that's been eating at me in the back of my mind since like a few months ago when I first saw that. And I think I recently decided I gotta stop saying it because I just don't, I don't know. It's affecting me too much. And so I'm letting it go. But I do hope you have fun. And I hope you know that you are awesome. But yeah, that was weird when I discovered that I was using the same-ish sign-off tag as a clickbait celebrity gossip YouTube channel. Okay, anyway, I gotta come up with a new one, I guess. Until then, until I do, goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. I don't know, I can't. Bye. Guess that's what happens when you're way too cool. It's not my fault. It's not my fault like you say it is. It's not my fault, 'cause I told you long ago that I wouldn't put up with your bullshit. You don't come through like you say you do. No, I don't need you to, 'cause I don't need you. You don't come through like you say you do. Ooh, 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 ooh.